Cast your cares off in pastels and tie your troubles in bows. Make a friend in fashion with Izzie and Coco. Yeah, this is the cute life.
Hello! Welcome to Live the Cute Life! We're back with our book reviews, and my name is Izzie.
And I am Coco.
And welcome! Today I'm really excited about this book we're going to review because it was so good! This is called Fortune's Pawn by Rachel Bach.
It's in the future, and it's a sci-fi book, and it's about this kick-ass girl who is a mercenary, and she fights in her own suit. She's got this suit that gives her extra powers, and she can jump really high and fight, and has all these weapons. And she is in love with her suit, which is really cool.
I love that part. She adores that suit, modifies it, keeps adding components to it. She really has survived because of her suit.
And that time in the future, soldiers and people who mercenaries and people who fight have these suits, so they're like super soldiers. So she is her goal in life is to be a devastator, who is a type of soldier for the king.
Yeah, it's like the best job you can get if you're kind of like in this military kind of career that you want. That's the highest you can get. So that's her goal. And her, for being so young and a woman, she's gotten ahead really far, really quickly. She's
been promoted super quickly.
Yeah.
But she wants to become a devastator, so they tell her, if you are a security detail in this spaceship called the Fool, right? April's Fool?
Something with the
Fool. With this captain called Caldwell.
Yeah.
Then just a few years, 1 year with that should be able to give you enough experience to become a devastator.
Exactly.
So she signs up with this, and it turns out to be a super adventure. It is not just a trading ship. It's an undercover operation that's actually trying to save the world from all these monsters.
Yes.
And it's her adventures as she is going through fights in this spaceship, and how she falls in love with a guy on the spaceship.
What I really loved, there's romance. And there's 3 books. It's a trilogy. And it was so good, I think I read all 3 books in a week. And I loved even more the second and the third because the romance is more, you say prevalent or prevalent?
I'm not even going to chime in on that because I don't know. I'm going to say prevalent, but it's probably prevalent. Who knows?
Yes.
I also absolutely fell in love with this series. I was so in love with this series that the next 5 books I read, I was like, this is garbage compared to the Paradox series.
She kept complaining about the books and
it's
I don't like it.
Enough. But this was amazing. I fell in love with the characters. Yeah. And I'm a sucker for strong female characters that are mechanics.
Yeah.
So she was a mechanic, was fixing her suit all the time. And she was a strong warrior. And just the relationship, because, so spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the book now.
A little bit, yeah.
What I love about her relationship, so she falls in love with the cook in the spaceship.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
And supposedly he's just a cook. Turns out he's not just a cook, he's a symbiont. So he's got an alien.
Kind of like a parasite alien that makes him super strong. So he's kind of like a half human, half alien. And he turns, and the alien side, when he's fighting, it turns into like a black scale suit. I
was imagining something very similar to the alien they portrayed in the movie Aliens.
Yeah,
with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah,
something similar like that, but not as ugly because he's supposed to look kind of like a lizard, but with those black scales that give him some strong armor.
Yeah,
very strong, very smart.
He's like an undercover agent. He's really not just a cook.
He's more like in a government program, because there are these monsters that use the energy in the world and in the galaxy. And they're eating up worlds.
There's like these black holes coming in. They're just sucking in, and they're destroying whole planets.
Right.
So they're fighting against this, but it's hard. The way they're fighting against it, it's morally, ethically wrong because they're using these poor children.
It's little girls. So if the little girl has this power to control a force in the universe called plasmics, then they are candidates for this program. And like, well, if you're obviously you're taken by force, they don't get to volunteer. They're taken from their families, and then they're just like they're as people that get erased, and they just become these weapons to try to save planets from getting devoured by these monsters. But anyway, that all develops through the second and the third book. They don't really
and the first one you don't really realize what the fight is. They just say like the ship doesn't seem what it is, the captain is not who he seems, or the cook. So they explain it more in the second and third book. But what I really like about the main character, Devi, is that she's not a whiny character. She's like, shit has to get done. I have to fight. I might die. Who cares? I got this. I'm going into battle. This is what I've been training all my life for. And she's very black and white. Like, this is good. This is bad. Like, using kids in this way is bad. She just, like, the ends for her doesn't justify the means.
And... yeah,
she always sticks to her guns.
That sounds
really
like such a convoluted plot. But when you're reading, you're really on board. It's not complicated. You can the way she sets up the world,
and the world building is not complicated.
The conflict and all that. It's like you're like, I'm on board, and I can see how people, the other people in the government program are like, well, we don't have any other choice, you know, and we can't just let these monsters devour the planets. So they actually they think that they're doing something right. Yes. So she's fighting. It reminds me a little bit of Firefly. Yeah. How the assassin that was going after them. Yes. Thought that he was doing the right thing. Yes. Until the very end when he sees the video how like they destroyed the world and they what were they called, Reavers? Reavers, yeah. They created the Reavers, and then he's like, oh my god. So at the end, at the end of the third book,
finally she convinces him like this is not the way
the world. Like everyone was against her all the way to the end. Finally she saves
everybody's
the world,
fighting her all along.
And then they're like, oh, okay, we see, you know, but we couldn't take the risk. What if you were wrong? So whatever. It was awesome. I fell in love with the book, and we keep trying to get into and get distracted is the relationship with Rupert and Debbie is amazing. Like,
you know what's funny? Well, I was reading a couple Goodreads comments, and some people were complaining, oh, the first one, I didn't like the second and third because there was so much romance. And I'm like, I'm gonna love it! Like, yes! Well, I'm looking forward to it even more.
I know, I loved it. And I was also like, the way it ends in the second book. Was it in the second book? Yeah, or in the first book.
The second is harsh.
Rupert thinks that he's doing the right thing by protecting the program that's saving all these worlds from getting destroyed. Yeah. And he actually was going to kill her or take her in to just be used as a weapon. Yeah. You know, he was going to sacrifice Debbie for the greater good. And I was like, oh, how could you betray her like that? Then the third book, he's like, you know what? Fuck screw everything. He's like, screw everything. I'm in love with this woman, and like whatever happens, and I'm just gonna help you do what you think is right. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, I love this book so much.
And he betrayed her in like the worst possible way. Like he was willing to kill her, sacrifice her, and you think
he was never gonna kill her though. He was going to take her into the program.
Well, there's the simulation where they ask him to kill her. So he did. He didn't really kill her. It was like a simulation.
The hologram of her.
He killed it, but he thought it was her. So he was willing to kill her. Yeah. So Debbie's seen all this, and I'm like, you just can't forgive that. But the way the author developed it and how he behaves later, you are on board with forgiving him. You can't. You're like, no, this guy's got to go down.
And I love the way she was like, because that's something that bothers me in books. Like, there's this like, oh, I don't know if I love you.
Yes, I find that annoying.
That whining of like indecisiveness. But this lady is like, no, I'm not gonna forgive you, and like I'm not even debating this because. But then once the guy proves himself, she's like very pragmatist.
Yeah, she was very practical. I loved it. She's like, you know what? Obviously, I'm gonna be dying soon because in her line of work and the stuff that's going on, and she's So like, I love this guy.
And
He's,
finally-
I need to trust him, and I don't want to spend like my last couple days.
Right, because she's
Not
always
with
about
him.
to die.
Yeah, she's always on the verge of dying.
So, I don't know. I really love this series. I recommend it to anybody who likes sci-fi and romance. It's just awesome. Actually, I have a warning that when I started it, just like the very first pages, I was like, I don't know about this.
Oh,
like,
God.
she had too much attitude. She was too sassy, or like I'm the shit.
Well,
Like
she
I'm
was
the
the shit.
best, or
She
whatever.
was
I'm
right.
like, oh. That was maybe, but once like you get into it, you're like, oh no, I can see, you know,
Yeah.
this person has that attitude because they really have been kicking ass
Yeah.
over and over again, and you kind of need that to be that type of mercenary to make those decisions or whatever. So if you read the first couple pages, you're like, oh, I don't know, keep
Not
going,
into it.
'cause
I
you're gonna
think
love it.
you'll end up loving her. You'll end up loving Debbie. And I remember you're like, oh, I'm like, this book is really good. Keep reading. You'll see. I was so disappointed. I'm like, because we disagree on a lot of them, but this one I just really liked. I
You're
really
right.
liked
No,
this book.
I am so glad I kept going because I love this book.
And I don't know why, it just never really caught my attention, but this book had been picked for the Vaginal Fantasy, one of the book club. It was like one of the months it was picked, and I didn't read it, it just didn't caught my attention, but I see why, it was a great pick.
It was a great pick.
Yeah.
So we loved it. You
Yes.
should go check it out. We're gonna have the link for you to buy it down here in the comments in the
Yes.
description, and let us know what you think in the comments and subscribe to our channel.
Bye guys! Nice
you
seeing you
next time.
again! Doesn't look too dark, right?
No, you can tell who's evil because your side was like ah.